Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the webinar on balanced diet and personalized nutrition. Our expert speakers for the event are Nitya and Aparna. So, Nitya is the founder of Smart Cookie Foods. She has been in the field of food and pastry arts for nearly 9 years, and Aparna is a nutritionist who has more than 8 years of rich experience in the field of nutrition and healthcare. So I think over to you, Nitya, you can take it forward.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. So I'm Nitya, I'm the founder of Smart Cookie Foods, and we're a gluten-free and vegan baking brand. And the whole purpose of this webinar today is sorry, I think I lost you. The whole purpose of this webinar today is, to have a short introduction on personalized nutrition and how we can sort of categorize a balanced diet. Like there's a lot of terminology that happens or that we come across, in social media and in all kinds of content regarding health and wellness. So we're just here to break that down and to really simplify it so that it can be incorporated into our daily diets. And after this, I'll hand it over to Aparna.
Aparna, you can start.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. I am Aparna. I am a nutritionist and as well as a content creator. So I welcome you all to this health webinar. The topic today is balanced diet and personalized nutrition. So balanced diet is nothing new, but we'll try to understand the basic terms in balanced diet, as well as we'll understand the personalized nutrition. So that is a niche area where we will have a discussion. So we'll start. So what is the objective today? What we are trying to learn is, first we will describe food and nutrition, and then we will try to understand about nutrients, like what are micronutrients or macronutrients, and then we will have a definition or understanding regarding balanced diet. Then we will understand that how and what are the easy steps to have a effortless balanced diet. Then we will proceed towards PN or personalized nutrition. We'll understand its strengths, weakness, and scope, challenges. And then we will conclude our session, and followed by that, a QA question and answer session will be there. So what is food? So food is what we actually eat throughout the day. Like the moment we wake up, we have, let's say we drink water, then we have our breakfast, we have our mid-morning meal, then lunch, then evening snack, and then dinner, and maybe bedtime milk. So everything is food. Why food is so important? We need food for doing all kind of activities, like whether it is a voluntary activity or whether it is an involuntary activity. So voluntary, what is voluntary activity means? Like right now we are doing voluntary activity, an action, like we are listening as well as I am speaking. So it's for doing all this activity, we need food. And involuntary means while sleeping, our organs are still working, like our heart is working, our brain is working, like kidney, everything, all the organs inside our body is working. For working those involuntary actions, we need food. So, but what exactly from food we get so that we get energy or which gives us the fuel to work throughout the day? So that is known as the nutrient. Nutrient is the molecule what or the chemical what we get from food. So we eat food, it gets body breaks it into nutrients and then utilizes it. So there are two types of nutrients, macronutrients and micronutrients. So what exactly we mean by macro, what exactly we mean by micronutrient? So macro means we need these nutrients in very large amount. So these are carbohydrate, or you can say protein, or you can say fat. Micro means we need it in a very small amount, And we generally include vitamins and minerals in this. We include water also, though it is not a nutrient, but it is very, very important. Hence, I have included in a micronutrient. So carbohydrate, it is not very new to us. Like many times we feel that we should avoid carbohydrate. We should not eat carbohydrate at all. But actually, should we do that? No. Why? Because carbohydrate is the basic like energy source throughout the body, throughout the day. Our staple food, right from if we have bread, we eat chapati, we eat rice. Everything is carbohydrate. Why we need carbohydrate? Because carbohydrate is the major source of glucose or energy. But in carbohydrates also there is a segregation, like there are complex carbohydrates and simple carbohydrates. So what is a complex carbohydrate and what is a simple carbohydrate? Complex carbohydrates are those carbohydrates when we eat them, whatever amount of glucose is present in these carbohydrates, they get released in the body slowly and steadily. Let's say one fruit is a carbohydrate. Let's say we eat an apple. So it's a good source of carbohydrate. It's having good amount of fiber, and when we eat it, our body get all the glucose in a slow and steady manner. We don't feel like a sudden spike of energy, or we don't feel very active, and after some time we don't feel dull. We feel full for some amount of time. So this is a complex carbohydrate. But there are products which are simple carbohydrate sources. Like if we eat a glass of Coca-Cola, let's say any kind of soft drink, we have any kind of these pizzas, or let's say deep fried food, what happens? Whenever we eat them, we get loads of glucose suddenly. So there is a spike. We will feel very energetic, active, maybe 1 hour until like another 2 hours or something. But later we feel dull. So they give good amount of glucose suddenly. So what happens when our body gets, let's say we require 2 glucose molecules, but if we have a simple carbohydrate and we get 6 glucose molecules, only body utilizes only 2. Rest 4, what happens to them? They get stored in our body in the form of fat. So if we eat loads of simple carbohydrates, we have the tendency to store them inside our body as a fat. But if we eat complex carbohydrate, the chances are very less. Along with this steady and slow glucose release, complex carbohydrate contain good amount of fiber, like oats. They contain good amount of fiber, which helps us reduce constipation. So whenever we are eating any kind of carbohydrate, we should actually see that we should always choose the complex carbohydrate. Now comes protein. So protein, as we know, that is very, very important for us. It is the building block of our body. So now, how much protein we require? Should we eat loads of protein? No. We need only 1 gram of protein per kg body weight. Let's say a person is a 60 kg is his weight. So he needs only 60 grams of protein throughout the day. And again, proteins are, if we break proteins, they are made up of amino acids. So are all proteins good? No. There are good quality protein also and bad quality protein also. So we need only the good quality protein. So egg is a good source of good quality protein. Soya bean is a good quality protein, and then fat less meat. Let's say from fish, what we get protein, or the chicken, from that the protein we get. Nuts, legumes or dals, or low fat milk if we have. So these proteins are good for our body. But if we eat protein which are along with protein, if high amount of saturated fat is also there, so that protein is not good for our body. And instead of having a protein powder or supplements, we always should try to have a good quality protein from a food source, so that our body will absorb that in a better or easy way, rather than having something concentrated form of any amino acid. So always choose a healthy, good quality protein which is from natural sources. Now comes fat. Present generation, what we think that we should avoid fat, we should not have fat. But is it good? No, we need fat. Why we need? Because fat is again a good source of energy, and all the organs in our body, they are the lining of them are made up of fat. Even the neurons, which are the nerves which are present in our brain, the lining is made up of DHA. So that is again a fat. So we need a good amount, like a minimum, like some amount of fat in our diet we require every day. If there should be no fat, we should go for low fat. And fat, again, there are good type of fat and that bad type of fat. So good fat is like PUFA or MUFA. They are very popular terms. Whenever you go to Google, you type for MUFA, you will get good amount of information regarding them. So those kind of fat you should always choose. Then fat from the nuts, like almonds or cashew, these kind of fats are good for body. But bad fat, like again, the junk food part, you can say the deep fried, whatever the fries available, or if you have a good big deep fried burger, patty, so those are not good type of fat. So salad dressings, let's say, those are also mayonnaise, which are very high in fat, saturated fat. So basically we need unsaturated fat. We should avoid saturated fat. Now comes micronutrients. The micronutrients, we need very small amount, but we should never ignore them. We should include them in our diet every day. So vitamins, they are organic compounds, but they contain some kind of oxygen in their molecule. So there are water soluble vitamins also, then fat soluble vitamin. So basically these are the, as you can see in the screen, I have just included the popular vitamins like vitamin A, which is very important for our eyes, vitamin B, vitamin C, which is very important for wound healing or immunity, vitamin D, which is very, very essential nowadays because many people are there who are vitamin D deficient, because majorly we get vitamin D from sunlight. And nowadays people are not going out and they are getting deficient of vitamin D. So vitamin D deficiency again causes weakness, and bone strength reduces. Then comes vitamin E, which is again good for immunity, and vitamin K, which is important for blood clotting. So do we need any kind of supplement for them? No, I don't think so, because Indian diet, whatever we eat, like fruits, vegetable, and normal, our roti, sabji, everything, there is a good amount of vitamin present. So extra effort of having any tonic or any supplement, I don't think it is required. Minerals, again, they are inorganic in nature because they don't contain that oxygen molecule, but they are very, very important, like potassium, iron, which is very important for hemoglobin formation, which carries the oxygen inside our body. So if we are deficient in any of these minerals, what happens? Our bodies, the balance get disturbed, like we feel weak, or let's say our immunity drops. So vitamins and minerals, they are very, very essential. And if we have a regular normal diet, then we can easily get it from our diet. Now comes very important, you can say, it's not a nutrient, but is very, very important, that is water. So why water is important? Because water, first of all, makes us hydrated. We feel hydrated, we feel active. And somewhere if we have good amount of water, then it gives moisture to our skin also. And it prevents kidney damage also. In terms of maintaining a good blood pressure, we need water. But how much water we should drink? Should we drink like 2 liters of water? Like mandatory? Is it mandatory? No. Again, it depends upon individual's body. If you feel thirsty, have good amount of water. For someone, maybe 1.8 liter is fine. Someone, maybe 2.5 liters is fine. Depends upon the environment or the climatic condition or the body condition. But we should have water throughout the day, not at one time. Let's say you want to, like, there is a target of you want to drink 2 liters, and throughout the day you are drinking only, let's say, 500 ml, and rest you are trying to cover up in the night. So that is not recommended. Have water, small amount throughout the day. Along with water, have good amounts of healthy fluids. Healthy fluids means like buttermilk or lassi. These kind of fluids you have, rather than having packed fruit juices. So go for normal, natural food source. So along with all these micronutrients, we need something else also, that is a physical activity. Physical activity means these are the activities through which we lose or we expend some amount of our energy. So we need food to be more active, and we need again physical activity to balance that. Whatever we are eating, we are using it also. So it is not only for physical wellness, for our emotional wellness, and to have a good amount of sleep, to feel good quality life, feel good and having a good quality of life also, we need a physical activity. So 30 minutes every day is good enough. Again, it depends upon person's own capacity. It is not that everyone will feel okay doing swimming every day. So it depends upon whatever you feel comfortable, the person feels comfortable or happy doing or enjoying. So that kind of physical activity only should be included. So what is the balance? Is that whatever I said about the nutrient, we need good right type of nutrient and right amount of nutrient. So what we are eating, the type and the amount makes a balanced diet. So this is generally for a normal adult. So as per of children and elderly or pregnant woman or lactating woman, the whatever the servings I have mentioned, it changes because their requirements are different. So if you make a pyramid, so the base of the pyramid, good amount of grains or whole grains should be there. Like we should have at least 6 to 11 servings of whole grains. So it will include our roti, chapati, or the bread what we are eating. Then comes vegetables. We should have at least 3 to 5 servings of vegetables. Then comes fruit. We should have minimum of 2 fruits in a day. Instead of having fruit juice, we should try to have fruit. Then dairy products, again, 2 cups of milk or 2 slices of low fat cheese. These kind of things we can include. Protein sources, as I told you, good quality protein, 2 servings or maximum 3 servings is good enough. But in terms of oil or sugar, we should try to have minimum. So whatever in the cooking we are using the oil, that's enough. We should avoid salad dressing kind of thing. And table sugar and table salt, I think we should actually say no to it, because that whatever sugar or this we require, we can get it from our normal fruits and vegetables. We don't need any table added sugar. So we understood that what is a balanced diet, but what is an unbalanced diet? Unbalanced diet is when we are having one kind of nutrient in a large amount and we are ignoring other nutrients. So the diet or the nutrition, it becomes malnourished. Like the person become malnourished, either he becomes very overnourished or undernourished. In both the cases, diseases, we actually get prone to diseases like heart disease or diabetes and deficiencies also. So what is the step? How can we have a balanced diet? Is there any formula for it? No. It's very simple. First, an important thing is have your meal at regular interval. Have your meal at regular time. Never skip your meal. Not keep too much gap between your meal. Never skip your breakfast. Have your food at time. And check on the portion size. Let's say if you're going out and you had a big, so-called junk food, then maybe when you are at home, you are eating, then maybe you can reduce the amount of portion what you are eating. So it's up to you. You decide and keep a check on the portion size. As I told you that sugar and added fat or salt, that should be avoided. And have good amount of water and healthy fluids throughout the day. So that is only one need to follow when anyone wishes to have a balanced diet. It's not a rocket formula. So now we will discuss about personalized nutrition. So what is personalized nutrition or PN? PN is what? Whenever a person is approaching for PN, what happens? Their full body checkup happens. Their blood test happens. The expert who is there, he will check the person's, like whether any disease is there or not, what is the BMI of that person, what is the height, weight, and physical parameters, as well as the genetic nature of the person also get checked. Genetic nature means what? Whether the person is genetically at a risk of developing any kind of disease, maybe after 3-4 years or 5-10 years. Are they prone to diabetes or heart disease? So that all get checked, and according to that, dietary prescriptions are given to them. So this kind of approach is known as personalized nutrition or PN. What is the concept? First, as I told you, the physical parameters, genetic parameters, everything get checked. And according to that, a nutrient list or what type of food a person can eat, that is made up, and then it is prescribed to that person. So and they are motivated to have this kind of list, the food, whatever is presented to them. So that is basically the concept of PN. Why it is so much in trend nowadays? Because people are very aware. They are nowadays, the health awareness part is very high. Post COVID, it is actually very high. And the technological development, because nowadays so many apps are available where you can actually track all your records. Like if you need to just enter a few data of yours, and then you can track how much water you need, or what type of ingredients you should eat, what type of food you should eat. So that kind of knowledge, or you can say that kind of awareness, is very high nowadays. So that's why people are approaching, they are taking interest in PN. So mostly what people want in PN is they want customized ingredient list, they want customized nutrient list, like they want to understand whether they need more of carbohydrate or whether they need more of protein. And they need to understand their health goals, like whether they should lose weight or gain weight, or what kind of health approach they should follow, how much of which food they should eat, and what type of recipes they should follow. So these kind of things people are taking interest. So is it better from conventional method? So the idea is that it is beneficial, it is showing benefits, but studies supporting this kind of approach is still not available. So no one is actually using, the dietitian, or you can say the medical field, they are not using it much yet. So scope is, it can be used for people who need a special kind of nutrition, like elderly people or pregnant people, pregnancy, in case of pregnancy or lactation. This kind of approach can be used. And other than that, also for normal public also this can be used, where the people who are at a risk of developing diabetes or heart disease, for them also this approach can be used. And dietitians in their normal practice, they can use this kind of approach. Other than that, there are companies, there are healthcare companies and the research firms, they can actually collaborate, and they can have like more of data generation part that can be done. So the scope is huge. So reasons why people want or they opt for PN is there are social media reviews, like on social media, loads of you can say the articles, not authentic research articles, but articles are there where people are saying personalized nutrition is good. And there are few companies who are doing good amount of advertisement, and then word of mouth is also there, and social media also, where loads of information is available for PN. So what is the strength? Strength is, as I told you, it is an individual. It is based upon the individual. So whole individuals, everything detailed analysis is done, and according to that, diet or the nutritional recommendation provided. So it is easy for the person to follow, and they feel it is like they can follow it for a longer time. This is the strength of personal nutrition. But there are some weaknesses also. Weakness is what? It is still no studies or trials or human trials are not available much. Theory also is not available, that how, if we understand the genetic nature, how by just giving diet or changing the diet, we can find benefits. So that theory development is still not yet done. And efficacy and safety of this approach is also not available present. But some people, like are not opting for PN. Why? Because presently the cost of personalized nutrition is very high. So, and they feel that whatever they are paying and what benefits they are getting, it's not matching. And people are also very not comfortable sharing their personal data with people. And they always like sometimes they don't feel convenient using this kind of approach, and they feel that uh, for with normal dietary recommendation, what they feel that whatever they are following, their family members also can follow. But in case of PN, they are not able to do that. So somewhere they, after using or following this kind of approach, after some time they feel that okay, I'm not comfortable following this, so they opt out of this PN. So challenges are many, because challenges, as I told you, the supportive data is required, loads of supportive data is required in order to convince the healthcare division, the dietetic division, until unless they are taking interest in PN, it is not very easy to make it mass acceptance. We cannot create until unless we have a good amount of supportive data. So how can I conclude this session? I can say that whenever we are thinking of having a good health or wellness, or want to follow a good diet, we should always first listen to our body. We should understand that what actually is our strength and weaknesses, and then we should approach. If we feel there is a problem, we should approach expert rather than going on internet or Google search or FB search or WhatsApp tips. We should actually go to expert, we should talk to them, and we should understand. And then we should follow a lifestyle which is not a burden to us. We should follow it, which is enjoyable. We feel that, okay, it is easy for me and I'm comfortable doing this kind of behaviors I can follow. So that type of pattern we should always follow. So thank you for listening actually this session, and it is really nice discussing all these things with you all. So this session is now open for question and answers. So you can ask your questions, and we will try to explain you the answers.
So I had one question. So when you talked about personalized nutrition, so it was about privacy issues. You talked about privacy issues. People are reluctant to share their private data. So this issue also came up. So it has been coming up recently due to a lot of accessories and electronic devices that people are using to track their calories, to track their daily activities. So how good it is, so how reliable those accessories are, and that also is one thing, because is it medically acceptable whatever data they show, what of the body activity, the burnout and all? So that is one question, and of course the privacy also comes there. So if you could touch upon this.
Yeah, so nowadays you have loads of apps on which which can track your step count, which can actually, you need to just enter your wake up time and sleep time. They can tell you that there is a watch also available. If you wear it during sleep, it can tell you that what type of sleep you got. Loads of apps and devices are available, but actually before opting for any of these, we should first check the authenticity. We should understand, we should read the reviews about that company, the devices, and then only we should opt, because it's ultimately a computerized data. No one actually is doing it. It is a computer generated data they get, and they have dietitians who understand your log reports, and according to that they give you nutrition or the dietary directions. So authenticity, again, we have to understand. because there are many available options are there, but out of that, which is the best one, we should actually understand, then we should opt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think there were two questions that has already been answered by Nitya. So
Yeah. I can read it here.
yeah. So if anyone else has any question, please you can
Yes.
ask that.
Aparna, so I have a question for you actually. When we go to a nutritionist now, right, and then you tell them that you have certain goals for weight loss, or let's say you have PCOD, or some kind of a health issue that needs to be reversed through a diet. Would that also be counted as personalized nutrition, or I mean, does that come under a generic bracket?
No, it's not personalized nutrition. Personalized nutrition is they are actually adding the term genetic because they are understanding the gene.
Right.
When we are presently going to a nutritionist, they are taking care of our physical parameters like our weight, BMI, height, everything. And other than that, they check our like diet history.
Okay.
Whether in our history anyone is having diabetes. So according to that, they are trying to do. Other than that, if we have any kind of comorbid condition, they just read those levels. If let's say we have diabetes, so what is our present diabetes level? But in personalized nutrition, what happens? Maybe someone is very normal right now, but he or she is having a gene which is prone to diabetes. If they don't follow a good lifestyle now, maybe they will get into diabetes after few years. So it's kind of like prevention. It's a preventive kind of approach.
Okay.